Chosen one, have you ever felt that something inside you is shutting down? Slowly, silently, as if a part of you is being drained without explanation. It is not sin. It is not a lack of faith. It is not spiritual weakness. It is stress. And when it enters, it doesn't announce itself, but leaves deep damage. And the most dangerous part, most do not realize it. You continue to serve, you continue to strive, you keep saying everything is fine. But inside, something has already collapsed. And the worst part, because you are spiritually sensitive, you end up absorbing more than you should. Stress is not just physical. It is emotional, mental, and often spiritual. It cools your sensitivity to God. It messes up your inner listening. It gradually weakens your faith. And when you realize it, you are distant from yourself. You know that weight that doesn't go away, that mind that doesn't stop, that body that doesn't respond. This may not just be fatigue. It could be a sign that something deeper is happening. That is why I need to show you 9 silent signs that stress is draining your strength. Do not ignore these symptoms. They may be sabotaging your calling without you realizing it. And if you are someone who usually carries everything alone, this message is especially for you. Because even the strong, when they do not stop, collapse. Today is the day to look at yourself with truth. To listen to what your body, your mind, and your spirit are trying to say. Because you can only fulfill the mission when you are whole. Stay with me until the end. One of these signs may be the warning that God is using to call you back to balance. And if this makes sense to you, share it. Someone you love may be being attacked by this same invisible enemy. 1. Physical pains. When the soul cries out through the body speaks. And when the soul is overwhelmed, it is the first to give signs. Headaches, tension in the neck, stiff backs, migraines that appear out of nowhere. All of this can be a reflection of a silent stress that is taking over inside without you noticing. Those who are chosen carry more sensitivity. They perceive more, they feel more. And when there is no space to release that energy, the body absorbs it. And it shows. It shows with pains that seem physical, but arise from accumulated emotional exhaustion. Have you ever woken up exhausted, even after sleeping? Have you ever had muscle pain without any effort? Have you ever felt a weight on your chest for no reason? This could be your body trying to warn you that something needs to be taken care of. Not in a hurry, but with truth. Many people ignore these signs. They take a medicine and go on with their day. But the pain returns, and it returns stronger, because the root has not been treated. And the body insists, you need to stop. You need to listen to yourself. You need to take care of yourself. It is not weakness to admit that you are feeling something. It is maturity. The body does not lie. And when it is in pain, it is because your soul is asking for help. Chosen one, your mission is great. But your temple needs to be standing. If the body weakens, the purpose slows down. Honor your body as an extension of what God wants to do in you. Perhaps it is time to breathe deeper. Stretch what is tight. Silence where there is noise. Pay attention to the pains. They are alerts from above. When the soul cries out, the body echoes. 2. Weakened immune system. The defense begins to fail. Chosen one, have you noticed how your body gets sick more when your mind is overloaded? Suddenly, any virus catches you. The cold that should last 2 days lasts 10. Wounds take longer to heal. You wake up more vulnerable, as if you are always on the brink of something bad. And maybe you are, but not just physically. Stress directly affects your immunity. It silently weakens your defenses. Inside, the body begins to fight with less strength. And the more you ignore this, the easier it becomes for the enemy to hit you. Emotionally, spiritually, and yes, even biologically. Have you heard that the body holds on to everything? It's true. Unprocessed emotions accumulate. And the immune system, which should protect you, starts to fail because it is too busy trying to balance what you don't resolve. Chosen ones absorb a lot. Heavy environments, burdened people, conflicts. Everything comes in with more force. And if you do not release this, your body pays the price. It becomes more susceptible. It becomes more tired. It becomes more fragile. Perhaps the problem is not the virus. It is the internal imbalance, the constant pressure, the lack of pause, the guilt of resting, the obligation to be strong all the time. And all of this, combined, makes you ill. It is not just about protecting yourself from the outside, but about shielding yourself from the inside, strengthening the spirit so that the body is also strengthened. This includes resting, praying, laughing, eating well, breathing deeply, and distancing yourself from what drains your peace. Take care of your body as one would take care of armor. It is not disposable. It is the temple where God dwells. And if it breaks, your mission slows down. Your immune system is more spiritual than it seems. And today, perhaps the greatest medicine you need is to listen to your own body more attentively. 3. Interrupted sleep, incomplete rest. Chosen one. When even your sleep begins to fail, it is a sign that something inside you is asking for help. You lie down tired, but your mind remains active. The body may rest, but the soul does not find peace. You wake up in the middle of the night for no reason. You toss and turn. And when dawn comes, it feels like you haven't even slept. Sleep should be the most sacred time of the day. It is there that the body regenerates, the mind organizes, and the spirit renews. It is when God speaks to you in silence. But stress steals this. It enters your night, messes everything up, and leaves without any explanation. And then the repetitive thoughts begin. Worries arise more forcefully at night. What seemed small becomes huge when the lights go out. And rest turns into a mental battleground. Chosen ones do not rest merely by sleeping. They rest when they surrender, when they let go of control, when they turn off the world to connect with the high. But if you are sleeping without peace, something needs to be adjusted. Perhaps what is waking you up is not the external noise, but an uneasy heart, overloaded, full of internal voices that were not silenced throughout the day. And the problem is that, without deep sleep, everything worsens. Immunity drops, mood swings, faith weakens. You start the day already exhausted, and that is not living. Even less so for someone who carries a purpose. Do not accept this pattern as normal. Create a routine of sacred rest. Pray before sleeping. Breathe slowly. Give thanks for the day. Ask for peace. Surrender what you cannot resolve. And allow sleep to be a shelter again, not agitation. God wants to speak with you even in rest. But you must silence first. Those who sleep in peace wake up with strength. Take care of this. Your purpose depends on your ability to truly rest. 4. Unregulated appetite, excess or absence as escape. The body speaks, and many times it speaks through food. When the appetite changes drastically, whether more or less, it is not just a physical issue. It is an emotional sign. It is stress trying to find an outlet. And often, it manifests precisely where you least expect it, on the plate. Some begin to eat compulsively, not out of hunger, but out of anxiety, emptiness, restlessness. It is as if food fills a hole that the soul does not know how to handle. Others completely lose their appetite. The stomach shuts down. Nothing goes down. It's as if the pain locks the body inside. chosen one, your body feels everything. And when the soul is wounded, eating becomes a reflection of what is disorganized inside. Overeating or not eating at all are extremes that point to the same root: lack of emotional balance. It is not about what you eat. It is about why you are eating this way. Are you punishing yourself? Are you numbing yourself? Are you trying to control something that escapes you? Your eating habits are directly linked to your spiritual energy. When you eat poorly, everything in you weakens, your energy drops, your clarity disappears, your spiritual sensitivity diminishes. The chosen one does not live on autopilot. The chosen one needs to be attentive, even to what they put on their plate, because that is also part of the mission. Taking care of the temple, taking care of the body, so that the spirit has a place to dwell fully. It is not about diet, it is about awareness. It is about stopping, breathing, and asking, why am I eating this way? What am I trying to avoid? Return to balance. Pray before eating. Feel what your body is asking for. Understand what your soul is trying to say behind the food. Nourishing yourself with intention is also an act of faith. 5. Withdrawal from intimacy. When the heart cools, stress does not only affect the body and mind, it also reaches the heart. And one of the areas that suffers the most in silence is intimacy, with people and with God. When stress settles in, the desire to connect diminishes. Affection disappears. Touch becomes uncomfortable. Hugs lose their effect. Love is still there, but access to it seems blocked. You begin to withdraw even from those you love. Emotional exhaustion makes you avoid conversations, touches, bonds, and little by little, isolation becomes a shield. But what should protect you starts to suffocate. The heart hardens. This distance also affects the spiritual. Prayer becomes difficult. Worship loses its life. The presence of God seems distant, but in fact, it is the heart that is closed, trying to protect itself from the overload it feels. 7. Lack of energy, tired soul, dormant purpose, chosen one. There are days when the body gets up, but the soul remains lying down. You wake up, but do not awaken. The simplest tasks feel like burdens. Things that once brought you pleasure now make no sense. What is happening? This is one of the most dangerous signs of silent stress, the loss of your vital energy. And we are not just talking about physical fatigue. It is a deeper exhaustion, a tiredness that does not go away with a night's sleep or a weekend of rest. It is the soul that is tired. And when this happens, even your purpose begins to fall asleep. The energy of the chosen ones comes from the Spirit. It is sustained by faith, clarity, and connection with God. But when everything around weighs too much, that strength begins to weaken. And if you do not notice in time, you may begin to doubt who you are. You start to ask yourself, does it still make sense? Am I really on the right path? Is it worth continuing? But the truth is that the problem is not your calling. It is how much you are carrying beyond it. You are trying to be strong all the time. You solve for everyone. You endure in silence. You hold it together. But no one can carry everything alone. Not even you, who are chosen. Because the calling demands strength, but it also demands balance. When your energy drops, discernment fails. God's voice becomes muffled. The desire to pray disappears, and the greater risk appears. You start to think that your purpose has been lost, but it has not been lost. It is just waiting for you to find yourself again. This pause that your body is asking for is not weakness, it is wisdom. Rest is part of the war strategy. A tired soldier does not see the enemy, does not hear orders, does not move with precision. You need to stop to continue. Take care of your energy as something sacred. Do not give everything all the time. Preserve your soul. Prioritize your peace. If you need to retreat for a while, do so. God does not distance himself from those who pause to heal. On the contrary, it is in silence that he whispers most clearly. Your strength will return. Your purpose has not died. It only needs you to reconnect with the source. And when that happens, you will remember, it was just fatigue. But now I am alive inside again. 8. Negative and confused thoughts. The mind as a battlefield. Chosen one, perhaps what is weakening you the most today is not on the outside, but on the inside, in your mind. That silent part of you that no one sees, but that is full of doubts, voices, fears, scenarios that never happened, but that paralyze you as if they were real. Stress affects the nervous system, yes, but it also impacts the spiritual. When the mind is confused, faith loses its grounding, focus disappears, decisions become heavy, and the path seems dark, even when it is clear. This is not just psychological, it is spiritual too. The enemy knows he cannot touch your essence, so he aims for your mind. He launches thoughts that seem like yours, but they are not. They come in disguised. And, over time, they turn into a cycle of confusion, discouragement, and insecurity. Everything begins with a subtle thought. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, am I enough? Is God still with me? Does all of this make sense? These phrases, repeated many times, become truth within you, even if God has never said any of that to you. This is the battlefield. A cluttered mind blocks revelations. And one of the greatest dangers for the chosen one is precisely this: not hearing clearly. God speaks, but the mind full of noise does not listen. It's like trying to tune into a station on a radio with interference. The signal is there, but you don't pick it up. Negative thoughts are not just thoughts. They are seeds. And if you let these seeds grow unchecked, they suffocate what God has planted inside of you. Faith, hope, vision, everything begins to wilt. Everything turns into doubt, and the purpose once strong now seems distant. Taking care of the mind is creating space for the sacred. It is clearing the excess, organizing thoughts, and surrendering anxieties to the Lord. It is filtering what comes in. It is selecting what remains. Because not every thought that passes through you deserves to be kept. The mind needs rest just as much as the body. Slowing down thought is an act of spiritual warfare. It is saying, I will not live dominated by confusion. It is positioning yourself and silencing to hear the voice that truly matters. God's. Read the word slowly. Let each verse align your thoughts. Listen to worship that brings peace. Say simple prayers. Breathe deeply. Ask God for clarity. He loves to organize what is messy, and He is not offended by your confusion. He embraces it. When the mind is back in place, everything around starts to align. Decisions become lighter. Faith returns. The heart finds rest, and the purpose begins to pulse with strength again. Because a clear mind is fertile ground for divine direction. Do not accept living confused, afraid, or tired of thinking. You were not created to live trapped inside your own head. You were created to hear, believe, decide, and act. And this is only possible when your mind is connected to the high and not overloaded with chaos. 9. Lack of spiritual motivation. When heaven seems distant, chosen one, there is a type of stress that does not show up in the body or in tests, but that directly affects your spirit. It is when the desire for the things of God begins to fade away. You still believe, but you no longer seek with the same thirst. You know you need to pray, but you can't find the will. The Bible is there, but it remains closed. The worship plays, but it no longer reaches you like it used to. This type of disconnection does not start all at once. It comes gradually. And this is how spiritual stress enters, leaving you apathetic toward the sacred. You continue to talk about God, but you feel that you no longer hear Him, and that hurts, but you remain silent. When the soul is overloaded, the spirit loses space, concerns take over, and faith begins to hide behind fatigue. The absence of spiritual motivation is a silent cry from the soul saying, "I am exhausted. I need to breathe." Chosen one, do not blame yourself for this. Do not think that you have lost your faith. What is lacking is not faith. It is strength. It is rest. It is inner space. Stress blocks spiritual sensitivity, and without sensitivity, heaven seems far away. But it has never been distant. You are just too hurt to perceive it. If you feel that you have lost your spiritual hunger, return to the basics. Talk to God as a wounded child, not as a tired warrior. He understands. He knows you. He does not need performance, just your sincere presence. Rekindling the spiritual fire begins with a step, a short prayer, a simple worship, a verse, a tear, a silence. Heaven does not demand haste. It just wants space to touch you again. The lack of spiritual motivation is a clear sign. Your soul needs rest and reconnection. Do not ignore this emptiness. It is calling you back to the source. Chosen one, your mission is great. But you were not called to live exhausted, nor to carry the world on your shoulders. You carry light. But that light needs to be nourished with rest, care, and connection. When you forget yourself, you begin to dim what you carry that is most precious, your essence. You are spirit, soul, and body. And all these levels need attention. Stress, when ignored, becomes an internal enemy, silent, sneaky, weakening. It takes away your vision, shakes your faith, and robs the lightness from your walk. And when you realize it, you no longer recognize yourself. But today you have been warned. These 9 signs are messages from heaven. They are ways that God uses to say, "Child, take care of yourself." Because the work does not stop, but the worker needs to be standing. Mission without balance becomes a burden. Calling without health becomes oppression. If you have identified any of these signs in your life, do not condemn yourself. Embrace yourself. Take a step inward. Withdraw if needed. Rest is also spiritual. Silence also heals. And time with God renews what stress tried to erase. Staying focused and eliminating distractions is crucial. The more you concentrate on your goal, the more the universe begins to align to bring it to you. This requires trust and action. The first step to manifesting is to define what you want clearly. By doing this, you are already creating the reality you desire. Be clear about your desires. Clarity is the secret to manifesting your desires. When you know exactly what you want, it becomes easier for the universe to understand how to help you. Instead of saying, "I want to be happy," be specific. How does happiness manifest in your life? What are the details you desire? The clearer you are, the easier it will become to manifest it. The universe responds to what you transmit. If you are vague in your desires, the path to their fulfillment will be confusing. If you want more money, define how much you need and how it will be used. Be exact. The more details you include, the more the universe can align the circumstances for it to happen. Your desires need to be like vivid images in your mind. How will you feel when you achieve them? How will your life change? You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to reconnect with what truly matters. Your soul, your faith, your health, your peace. This is the foundation of everything. The good news is, there is still time. You can change the pace. You can restore balance. You can feel God clearly again. And when that happens, your strength will return, with more maturity, with more lightness, with more awareness. Now tell me, from 0 to 10, how is your stress level today? Share with us in the comments. Let's create an environment of healing, support, and truth. And if this message spoke to you, send it to someone. There are many people smiling on the outside but being undermined on the inside. May this reach those who need to hear it.